JJ, the Vancouver Whitecaps only 4 points out of a playoff spot, but making headlines not for a playoff push, but firing their coach. What the hell's going on?
Well, this was a long time coming. This was something they had planned to do for several weeks now, but the timing of it just worked out that I don't know if they've thrown in the towel, like I don't think the players have, but I think the organization has more pressing needs. One, season ticket sales for next year. They needed something to really boost a flagging interest in this team, and with Alphonso Davies leaving, you know, their one marquee star, and the team looking like they're going to miss the playoffs, and a front office that really didn't fully publicly commit to spending money on bringing in players next year. I think they needed to do something to kind of reinvigorate the interest in this team, and I think that was part of the move. Also, in terms of looking for a new coach, Mark Dos Santos, the LAFC assistant, he is being courted by several other teams, and he is what everybody seems to think should be the replacement for Carl Robinson. So if they were worried he might wriggle off their hook, I could see them making that move early or late in the season and bringing a new coach.
The fans seem pretty restless if you look at the social media reaction, and part of that may have fallen on Robbo and his love of cliches and maybe not taking responsibility for some poor performances. But is this enough? Because I'm seeing a lot of shrapnel spill over on a Bob Leonarduzzi. There are people who are saying, how long until, you know, the biggest soccer name in Vancouver, where is some of the dysfunction?
Yeah, well, the Bob father, he's a local soccer legend. He is, you know, a face of this franchise dating back decades. But corporately, he doesn't have a lot of influence in terms of the product that is put on the field.
But is that part of the problem?
Well, yes, it is. They had someone in that role before in Paul Barber, but there was a bit of a culture clash, and he left, where he got named the Executive of the Year in the English FA the next year. Yeah. So they had a quality person, but Bobby doesn't make the decisions on the players. That's all on the coaches. What his role is helping determine how much money the club is going to spend. He's part of a committee, so to speak, as to who, you know, the cap that they're willing to spend, and then the coach decides who he wants to bring in. So there's two ways to look at it. You could look at it that Carl Robinson was a genius for posting maybe one of the better records in the league with a low salary cap, or that their poor playoff results, 1 win in 7 seasons, are on him because he was the one who decided which players came in. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. I think both are true. You know, he was responsible for the players, but he also was capped by how much he could spend.
While there have been examples, teams like Portland, who have won with similar budgets to what Vancouver operates with, I will say this as we close. There seems to be a lot of dissatisfaction about this committee. If you looked at the Canucks and you weren't happy with how Jim Benning was producing, or Wally Buono with the Lions, there's someone aware of that. I think that is the problem with the Whitecaps' current setup, is who's responsible. When you have a committee, you never know. Thanks, JJ. Keep following JJ Adams' stuff for the Whitecaps through the end of the season and beyond.